Welcome. My name is Chantal Pierrat, and I'm the founder of Emerging Women. So if I don't know you, thank you. Stepping into it. I'm seeing so many faces that I know and a lot that I don't know, which is just as exciting. And we just ended up this is our 6th city tour for Emerging Women in cities like Seattle, San Francisco, New York. And this is the last regional event before our main event, which happens in New York, and it's called Emerging Women Live. And I want to know how many people have been to the main event. The last one was in Boulder. Awesome. Awesome. The tribe is here. And then how many people were at one of the last power parties here? They were in Boulder. Okay, fabulous. Okay. So Emerging Women, you see that means that there's a lot of people here that don't know what Emerging Women is. And we are a platform. And we're starting out right now as an event platform. And very soon we'll be meaning we have live events that are also live streamed. And we're also going to be rolling out very shortly a membership circle program called Power Circles, where we'll have small groups of women that are facilitated and they're meeting. We also have an online course platform that is very soon to be released as well. But the idea of this platform is important because it's a way to disseminate content that's important. And there are many, many ways to do that in the age of technology. And so Emerging Women is still emerging. So right now it's basically events, online courses, and power circles. But keep that in mind, that if there's something that needs to emerge, or you have an idea, or you have a technology that you feel like could relate, let us know, because we're in the very, very beginning stages. We're at the 1.5-year mark right now. And so this is a collaborative effort. This is a community. This is a tribe. So it's still, like I said, emerging. That concept of emerging, I'm super into that right now. And there are many, many different definitions of emerging. And one that I love is to come into being through transformation. And the energy of emerging, when it happens after transformation, it's like fire. I don't know if you've had transformation in your own life, but at the tail end of your transformation, you're not emerging when you're in your transformation. No, you're like on the ground, you're, at least that was for me. Maybe y'all have more of an elegant way of going through that, but yeah, so when you're on the other side of that, you start, for me it was like the periscope came up and I was like, oh my God, like there's people functioning out there in the world and I'm ready to take this new alignment that I feel in my life, which is undeniable and crystal clear, and I'm ready to take that out into the world. Another definition is to come out from under, okay, to come up to the surface after being underneath. And so I feel an emergence, and that's how I started Emerging Women, was I was emerging, and yet I felt like, oh my gosh, I need community. I can't, I need people to do this with. I don't even know what it is. I didn't even know what I was emerging into. I could just feel it, once again, on the other side of some deep, long, transformational work. And so the energy that I was feeling around me was the energy of emergence, specifically around women. I was not the only woman in my life that was feeling the same call, the same alignment that no longer could be compromised, that no longer could be stuffed under. A truth inside of me that I had been burying for so long in order to maintain status quo or to be accepted or to feel my power. Right, but I didn't really understand what power meant until I truly felt it as it became birthed from that alignment, that inner alignment. So as I'm emerging, I'm looking around and I'm seeing all these other women emerging, and I'm thinking, wow, like this is happening on a major, this is an unstoppable trend, okay? That women, not only just monetarily and at a leadership level, are becoming more prominent in the world and gaining more, fiscal power and buying power and marketing power, but also, leadership roles. All of that is happening, but what's really emerging is the energy of the feminine. The energy of the feminine. Amen. It's been dormant. I mean, there have been leaks and secret societies and red tents and, places where it was, appropriate, but has not been accepted on a universal scale. In fact, it's been just the opposite. It's been rejected, it's been suppressed. And when I say the feminine, the feminine lives in all of humanity. If you're a human being, you have both masculine and feminine. And the first wave of feminism was really not about calling out that polarity. It really was about just equality on a human level. It was basic human rights. And we needed that. We needed the human, it was very policy focused. Okay, we needed the policies at that point. But this new wave of feminine is one that incorporates consciousness and incorporates an active, aware discussion of what does it mean to be feminine and how is it played out. So we can go into that a little bit in just a few minutes, but I want to just talk to you about that energy of emergence because it's one not to be overlooked. If you're feeling it and you're feeling it collectively in the groups that you're with, and some of, you might not even know what's going on, but you're feeling braver, like, oh my God, I'm going to take this step, I can't believe it, and something's happening, and I don't even know what it is, and you don't need to know, okay? That's a very powerful trait of the feminine, is the reliance on the unknown. If we keep trying to figure it out, we're not really relying on our feminine. Okay, so the question is, in this period of emergence, can we actually rely and lead with the feminine? And the masculine's coming. We've done the masculine. We've done it really well. I have. Yeah, I mean, there are people here that I have worked with in my last job, and are anybody here like executive coaches or a team? Yeah, okay, so I was the elephant in the room. You know that when you go into a team and you're like, well, who's the elephant? I was the elephant in the room because I had spent my whole life succeeding and getting goals through this masculine energy, and it has served me so well. I'm telling you, I got some shit done, checked off some boxes, put a couple of letters after my name. I mean, all those things happened for me. And yet I was acting in a way that was not genuine to really who I was because I was scared to do that because I didn't think it was powerful. I was, we're talking about the power of the feminine. We are our own worst enemy. We are guilty of not valuing those very same things. So when I started to get the executive coaching on these traits and learned to listen in a way, seriously, I had to learn it like, what do you think? And then I would pause and give the appropriate number of, and then that's how it started. That's how bad it was, the level of narcissism. I mean, it's kind of funny because there's like 5 people here from the last company that I worked with. And I keep saying the last company that I worked with, and you guys all pretty much know what that is. But anyway, I went through a deep transformation out of the narcissist, out of the needing to know everything, into listening to other people. And guess what? I discovered the other. That was actually a big transformation for me, to discover that others had perspective and others existed. And then it was like, oh my gosh, of course. And it was more of an unlearning than a learning, And then I couldn't get enough. Then it was like, I didn't make a decision. I was like, what do you think? And then what do you think? And then oh my gosh. And, it just became that. And I was so much more effective, so much more accepted, so much more powerful in my leadership when I turned to those things that were more about receiving and compassion, empathy. There's so many of those traits which I think we're going to hear about tonight from our speakers, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. But I continue to work with that. I continue to remember how powerful those things are for me. And recently, just a good example is one of our speakers at our main event, Dr. Maya Angelou, passed away. And I feel like we've lost a Gandhi, And we have lost a Gandhi. We've lost a Maya. See, now the next person will be like, I feel like we've lost a Maya Angelou. That's how deep this is. And it affected me on so many levels, just like fear for the planet, like, who is going to carry the mantle? There's so few individuals that are that powerful, that hold that space, and especially in the space for people of color and for women. They're just, I don't know, I could probably count them on like my first 3 fingers. People like that have that much impact and are that eloquent and that gifted. The level of genius is just staggering, and the level of impact is staggering. And yet when I think about that, I think about that the day of the individual is actually shifting. We're going from this I, individual focus to interaction. And the new wave of consciousness, the new wave of spirituality is completely dependent on the we. It's dependent on intimacy. It's dependent on relationship. The mindfulness is so fabulous because you learn about yourself and you learn about what happens in the stillness. And that happened to Maya. She was 5 years mute, and then the creative genius came out. Once we learn that, it has really no function other than to connect with others. That is the function of the self-awareness, is to relate with other people. And we are, in technology, they call it the age of connectivity, right? That sounds so like, I don't know, the age of connect. But but in every sector, this emphasis on relationship is sprouting. Technology, politics, business. It's not collaboration anymore. That was the buzzword, that's so 90s. Right now, it's relationship. It's actual relationship. It's actual, and I'm going to take it a step further, it's intimacy. It's intimacy because your relationships are just so, when we lean into the feminine, relationships are not just collaboration, trading, and not tit for tat, but trading. You can do this for me and I can do that and we can create something together. It's more like, I feel you. I can grok you. That's where it's going. A very, very deep relational human existence is what our future is. And there is no better representative to lead the way than women for that. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so there's so much more I could say. And yeah, I mean, I want to acknowledge the fact that we're in Denver. I feel compelled to do that. The last 2 events we've had have been in Boulder, and I am so loving the Denver, and it is long overdue. Yeah, how many people here are from Denver? Yeah, okay, so this, it's just really important because Colorado, emerging women, the audience is the nexus of lots of emerging sort of super trends, and that's the emerging of women in positions of leadership and power. It's the emergence of technology. It's the emergence of consciousness that's not tied to a certain religion. It's or another way to say that is spirituality. Okay, we're at the next, the emergence of the desire to do social impact, huge. We are at the nexus of all of these super trends, and we have so much power, just like geographically being in the center here, and also just as a group. The zeitgeist of this group is like beyond what we even know. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that come into fruition and excited to see the different ways that will manifest.